Agatha, there goes our ride. The only choice we got now is northbound. So here's what's about to happen. We're at Hogpen Gap on the AT. We're hiking in to meet Hunter, Alyssa, Bethany, and Aiden. The parking lot up here is full. These crazy ass people. Come on, legs. But this parking lot's full, so we had to walk the side of the road up. You can see here how full it is. Come on, girl. Over here. Stay off the road. Stay on this side. All right. But I talked to Hunter this morning before he got on the trail. He said there's only like 5 cars here. And there's his van. And I believe that's... I'm not sure. Anyways. So, here we go. Just topped the first hill out of the parking lot, entered the Mark Trail Wilderness. Got the heart rate up, legs on fire already. Gonna be a good day. There's the first little view. Richard B. Russell down there at the bottom of the hill. Looks like it's going right through there. You see it over there. Back that way to the parking lot. So, I mentioned real briefly a while ago when I was in the parking lot that what was going to happen. And Hunter came up last night and camped, boondocked in the parking lot. Started early this morning. He's planning to do between 7 to 8, 9 miles, something like that. I had to take my son to baseball tryouts this morning, so I'm getting a late start. I figured it'd be around 2 o'clock, but it's actually 12:30. So I should make camp a good bit before dark, but we'll see. It's been 4 years since I've done a overnight hike. The last time I did an overnight hike was before I got sober, and this has been really the first opportunity that I've had to do one. So a lot of things have happened since the last time I did an overnight hike. I've broken my foot, had some knee issues, so I don't know if I can still make the miles like I used to before my knee or foot starts hurting. And I'm carrying that Hyperlot bag that I mentioned in an earlier video. I weighed it last night, fully packed, was 21 pounds. So by far the lightest load I've carried for a wintertime hike. And we'll see how it does. So right here on this ridge already. We'll see if we can make some miles. Come along. Oh, this is also her first overnight hike. She's hiked probably a couple 100 miles with me all day hikes, and she does good. She did the section from Woody Gap to Neal's Gap. Let's go, girl. As a day hike with me and Hunter. she's still fairly a puppy then, and she did the 11 miles no problem. So we're gonna see how she does tonight. Hopefully she doesn't bark and growl at all the things in the woods, but we'll see. Made it up to this little overview area. That's right in there, that's Yona. And there's the parking lot back over there. Somebody left a painted rock here. I ain't gonna fool with it. I don't care, but I ain't gonna mess with it. Let somebody else do that cool little game they've got going on. Come on, girl. I gotta say, this day's turned out a lot better than I anticipated when I got up this morning. When we left the cabin this morning, it was snow flurrying and sleeting a little bit, and it was cloudy and snow sleet mix about 3/4 of the way here. And the closer we got, the more the skies opened up. Now the sun's out, and last minute I decided to wear pants, but I wore my convertible hiking pants that can zip off into shorts. So it's warming up now. I may have to start coming out of some layers, but there's still a slight breeze, and chills me down a little bit. So as long as that stays, as long as the breeze keeps blowing over a little bit, I'll be fine. But man, I'm happy to finally be back on the AT. It's been too long. I haven't even done a day hike that I can think of or remember on the AT in a while. So I'm really enjoying it, and surprisingly enough, the parking lot being full, I've only passed one other hiker. He was hiking southbound to Hogpen, but it's quiet. Haven't seen any other people. They had some trail magic set up at Hogpen for the northbound through bubble. I really don't know how many people are registered yet, but I've seen quite a few. Let's go. So that campsite right back there that I just briefly showed, roughly, come on girl, like probably 8 or 9 years ago, up here at the top of this ridge, I was on a southbound section hike from the NOC to Amicalola Falls, and I got to here, and I ran up on a juvenile black bear. And like most run-ins, he turned and ran down the mountain. No worries. But as I was walking down this hill, I noticed there was a bunch of overturned rocks, and the banks were all dug up where he was looking for grubs. And I got to that camp spot down there, and there was a tent and a food bag in the tree. And so, come on girl, flag at the, so trying to be the courtesy hiker, I kind of hollered out to the guy, hey, if anybody's in there, there's a bear not far up the hill from here. And no one ever came out. So, you know, I walked up into the camp saying, hey, don't be spooked, but I'm coming into your camp. Well, come to find out, there was nobody in the tent and nobody was in the area, so I just continued on down to Hogpen. And when I got to Hogpen, I stopped to eat lunch. And my food hadn't even finished cooking yet. And there was, it an ambulance pulled in, and a guy jumped out of the back with a hiking pack. And we got to chit-chatting, and come to find out he was the owner of the tent and the food bag. And overnight, at like 3 a.m., a bear came into his camp. Was trying to get his food bag out of the tree, and he got spooked. Ran down the Hogpen, and then hiked Richard B. Russell all the way down into Helen, which is roughly about 13 miles, give or take. And was actually leaned down on the bank in Helen, getting some water to purify. And a motorist seen him and thought he was injured or dead or had been hit by a car, and called law enforcement, and EMT showed up, and he was perfectly fine. I don't know where we're at in relation to load gap, but I'm gonna make a decision to either stop at the load gap shelter and fill up my water, or hope that the guide's right, and before I get to Cold Springs Gap, there's several creeks that should be flowing right now with all the rain we've had, and it's not far from where we're supposed to be camped tonight. Maybe, let's go, girl, maybe a quarter mile, half a mile, something like that, according to the guide, which I didn't bring the guide with me because I've hiked this section a few times, so we're just kind of winging it. So we passed the entrance to load gap shelter over there, probably see the tents. And right down there is the shelter. A bunch of northbound guys and girls, so we're just gonna keep moving on and hope for another water source up ahead. If not, we may be doing some backtracking or forward hiking and then backtracking to find water later on this evening. But for right now, I've got enough for Lagatha, another bowl full, and then myself, I've got over half an Nalgene left. Comes down to it, I'll give her the water first. I'm already starting to feel a little fatigued. Nothing serious yet. I'll wait a while and I'll pull out some gummies, eat some gummies along the trail, maybe some goldfish, something, get my sugar back up, keep on moving along. So I spoke too soon. The shelter is just over there around that corner down the hill. Here's the water source. I just purified water here. It's a good source. And I sat on that log right there. The sun was up and Lagatha took a nap. I encountered a Appalachian Trail Conservancy ridge runner. Spoke with her for a few minutes about doing some trail maintenance work in the future, and then encountered a Boy Scout troop. So I went ahead and ate lunch while they were all here purifying their water. I just purified mine, got my bag packed back up. I got this rested up, ready to go. According to the ridge runner and the Boy Scout troop, I'm about probably a mile and a half or so from meeting up with Hunter and Alyssa and Bethany and Aiden. So we're gonna go ahead and start heading that way. It's 3:30 now, so hopefully within the next hour we'll be walking up into their camp. Since I've gotten over here on this side of the mountains, the sun is now shining way over there, so all this is shadowed. Still a slight breeze. I'm getting pretty chilled. I zipped on my pants legs and put my gaiters back on. Try to hold in some warmth down there. Still haven't pulled out my North Face jacket or my North Face hoodie yet. I imagine once we make camp and stop moving around as much, it'll be cold enough for one or either both of them to go on. Another hour and 10 come and gone. That ridge runner that I talked to earlier, she told me, yeah, I've seen your friends. They're about probably a mile and a half ahead of you. And this is why you don't listen to people and their mileages, because it's been more than a mile and a half already. But that's okay. But some super nice camping areas I've been passing. This is a really nice one, and there was another really nice one probably about 1/10 of a mile back. Come on, girl, let's go. This is a pretty cool spot of the trail here. I'm really surprised at how well the trail looks. A lot of the portion of the trail in Georgia usually is beat up pretty bad, especially early on in the season from all the thru hikers. The numbers have gradually been climbing over the last few years. I want to say last year they had right at 5,000 registered thru hikers. That's, well, maybe it was 2020. I know some funky stuff happened in 2020. They closed the trail and they wanted everybody to leave because of COVID. So it might have been the year before when I kept up with it, but there was like roughly 5,000 the year, either last year or the year before. And that's up probably 3,000 or 3,500 since I started hiking about 10 years ago. My brother attempted the thru hike in 2016, and he was, I can't remember. I have his AT passport at the house, but I want to say it was like 289 or 284. But there ended up being like 2,500 people that year. So it's gradually going up every year, and every year the trail gets more and more beat up. They've actually closed a few sections and rerouted a few sections. And I haven't done any of the new reroutes in Georgia. I know they did a reroute close to Cooper's Gap, and go on. They did a reroute near Cooper's Gap, and I've been meaning to get over and check out the reroute. I think the reroute's almost a mile. It actually takes out a lot of the strenuous section that used to be Cooper's Gap going up and over the mountain. So maybe I'll do that soon. Not 100% sure, but I think I found my group of people up there on the mountain. I see a green puffer jacket, so we'll find out here in a minute.